Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, a wonderful holiday with friends and family. And I know now, the day after, we're getting ready for next year. Today, I don't want to talk to you about my company or what I've built. I want to talk about what's holding you back, what's holding your people back. You know, if you're a leader, you have to understand why people do certain things. Well, in networking, the number one thing holding everyone back has nothing to do with product or compensation or the people you're with, uplines, downlines, none of that. It's the number one fear in networking, and that's the fear of rejection. Do you know that over 30 years ago, I wrote the first edition of this book? Yeah, it literally came out in January of 1996. And since then, almost 350,000 of you have read and applied these principles. It's allowed me to go speak around the world. But today I want to talk to you, whether you're a leader or whether you're someone who's struggling with that fear. So here's what I know. And one of the first things I wrote in the book is, by the time you were 18 years old, you had already been turned down 100,000 times. Listen to me again. You were rejected 100,000 times by the time you were 18. And yet, if you're watching this, it's obvious you survived. You see, it's not the rejection that's holding you back. It's not even failing that holds you back. It's the fear of those two things. That's what we get inside. We anticipate, we think, we were all told to make a list. And if you're honest with yourself, as you're making that list, a name would come into your head and you would analyze, process, and go, nope, that person wouldn't be interested, and you leave them off your list. We all did it. I did it. I still do it. Why? Because we know they were going to say no and we didn't want to hear no. Well, here's the reality. Do you know what plumbers are happy about? It's that the majority of the world said no to a career in plumbing. And real estate agents are incredibly happy that all the world said no to becoming a real estate agent. Why? Well, because if everyone out there was a plumber, plumbing wouldn't be a business. And if it was, it would pay next to nothing. Why? Because you could get one anywhere. It's the same thing with your business. You see, you're not going to get wealthy by having everyone say yes. You're not going to move millions of dollars of products, services, whatever it is that you represent, because most people say yes. You're going to be compensated and successful for one reason. And if you look at the top people in your company, they all have one thing in common. They've heard no. They have failed more often than you. Not only that, I want to share in here, the answers don't matter. Here's an example. If you set a goal this week, you're going to talk to one person each day about your business, 5 people, right? We're going to take the weekend off, 5 people. And the second person you talk to goes, yes, I want to do it. What do? Most people, unfortunately, put all their hopes and dreams in that yes. That person is going to be the one that's going to build your business. That person is the one that's going to be making you wealthy. That person will quit. Why? Because they feel the weight of your world on their shoulders, and that's not fair. The best thing you can do if person number 2 says yes is set up your appointment to see person number 3, person number 4, and person number 5. Here's why. If you make the answers unimportant, 2 things happen. 1, all the people that said no, if something happens in their life to change their financial situation, their personal situation, their health, whatever it is, because you treated the no as, oh well, there's a tendency for them to come back to you and ask permission for you to revisit what it is you shared. Now, what about the person who said yes? Well, it's your opportunity to teach how to be successful in this business. And what do I mean? Well, they said yes, you went on to the next person. What are you teaching them? As people say yes to them, they need to move on as well. All right, here's why. Statistically, 1 out of 10 people will say yes to your opportunity. Okay, now saying yes means nothing other than they're going to enroll, and if they buy some product, you're going to make a little bit of income. Out of 10 people who say yes, here's how it breaks down. In the first 60 days, 4 will quit. 3 will sit on the fence. 2 will dip their toes in, and 1 will look to you to grow their business. Who do you want to work with? All right. I challenge you to set up your appointments and not think of the answers. I challenge you to move past your fears. You already have so many times in your life survived a failing, survived a rejection, and moved on. So, take a look. Not very thick. You could probably read it on a flight or while you're waiting to register your car. But click the link down below and you'll be able to still get this 30 years later on Amazon. Thanks, and have an amazing year.